Okay, a really good discussion, really enjoyable discussion in these tough times this morning between me and a lot of my guitar buddies online, and I was kind of saying, I think today I'm going to try and do such and such. Everyone was trying to guess what it was, and I said it's one of the best guitar solos of 1977, and maybe more accurately, I should have said it's actually two of the best guitar solos in 1977, and straight away, you know, Andrew said, is it Hotel California? And I had to think, well, 1977 must have been a pretty good year, you know, for all this stuff coming out. But, you know, if you go back to that era, the late 70s, you know, there's just so much great guitar came out in quite a short space of time. Anyway, the answer was The Envelope Please, and it was guessed by David Bateman, who said, I think it's That Woman's Gonna Break Your Heart, which is right. Now, that song comes from this album, and I don't know if other Thin Lizzy fans would agree with me, but it's quite different. But you know, but Dear Heart's quite different. Frankie Carroll's quite different. You know, Mexican Blood is quite different. But you know, That Woman's Gonna Break Your Heart, to me, it's dark. You know, it's got these key changes. It's got harmonies that don't really sound like harmonies. It's not like twin lead. And the backstory to this album, now please feel free to contact me and go, well, you got that wrong, or just to put on my page, you're a complete idiot, that's not true, or whatever. You know, I wasn't there, you know, I was just a fan like everyone else, reading the interviews, you know, and waiting for the album to come out. Now, this is a four-piece band, which is the second incarnation after the Eric Bell era. You know, this is the Brian Robertson, Scott Gorham, Brian Downey, Phil Lynott version of Thin Lizzy, who recorded Nightlife and Fighting. Those are my two favourites. And then seemed to commercialise the whole sound, and everything came together for Jailbreak, Johnny the Fox, the follow-up that maybe came too soon, although Johnny the Fox has got plenty of great bits in it. And then this. And you'll notice there's only three of them, you know, so four has become three, and you know, one member of the gang has been shown the door, or by mutual consent has left. So you've got an album that was recorded in France under the stewardship of Tony Visconti, who's an absolutely incredible producer, who produced David Bowie, as you know, and Mark Bolan, and produced this, and did Live and Dangerous, and is responsible for all the you know, did they, didn't they rumours about that album. So Tony Visconti came on board for this, and I think he you know, he rode the band pretty hard to get performances out of them, you know, because I don't think everyone turned up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed every day, and France is obviously Paris at that time, you know, there was a lot of temptation, right? Let's leave it at that. So it's an album that's really a three-piece, that's multi-tracked. So yeah, and Scott Gorham, you know, does some fantastic stuff. You know, harmonies all over Soldier of Fortune, harmonies on Bad Reputation, which are quite unconventional but sounds really good. And you know, if it sounds good, it's good. Great wailing extended solo on Bad Reputation, which Scott hadn't really done before. But there are two. More metal, more heavy rock songs that really, I imagine, I mean, I'd love to hear the original versions of them with Scott, if they did them, but they kind of sound like they would have benefited from, you know, Brian's, you know, wailing wah approach. So he was, I think, invited to come back. You know, we've got these two songs in the album that will really suit what you do. Would you come back as a session player, as a friend, you know, as an ex-member? And pepper some guitar over Opium Trail, Killer Without a Cause, which he did. So far we've got this, you know, great album. Little fun fact for anybody: the heavenly vocals on Dear Lord are provided by Mary Hopkin of Those Were the Days, my friend, fame, who is married to Tony Visconti, and there's a choir of angels, which I think is all Mary Hopkin, right? But the track that comes before, well, two before it is Downtown Sundown, which is a massive favourite of Scott Gorham fans. Like, and you know, I'm talking to you, Paul Robson, on this one. Downtown Sundown, Scott plays just the most beautiful lyrical solo you can imagine. And sandwiched between that and Dear Lord is the track that, you know, I wouldn't say it doesn't fit, because it's incredible. I love it. That Woman's Gonna Break Your Heart. I mean, you know, it's, to me, as I said, it's really, really different to a lot of Lizzy songs. You know, it's got, as I say, it's got this harmony that it doesn't sound like. And then someone goes, and then a third guy goes. It's very dark. It's got this real sort of dark, ominous sound, you know, and it sounds like someone's going. Then it's got this pop chorus. You know? So, it's a song that sounds, to me anyway, a little different to anything else that's on that album, but it's great. And if I compiled a best of Thin Lizzy, you know, which would have, you know, a whole lot of Gary stuff, believe me, we'd have That Woman's Gonna Break Your Heart. And it's a song that I thought, well, this maybe would be worth, you know, playing the two solos and talking a bit about them. Because, you know, Scott plays a trademark Scott emotive wailing solo, just with that incredible vibrato he had. You know, it's not overdone. You know, just that Scott thing that was going, you know. And his solo's by in a flash. It's absolutely by in no time. And then Brian plays something that's just absolutely magnificent. It was described in Sounds, which was a sort of music paper of the time, which, you know, tended more towards rock bands, in glowing terms. And I'm going to paraphrase, but I think the writer said something along the lines of, you know, Brian Robertson just, you know, destroys every guitar player on the planet in a way that hasn't been done since Jeff Baxter in My Old School. So, it's not only got one of the greatest guitar solos of 1977, it's got two. It's a great album, loads and loads of stories that I'm hoping some people can furnish me with. So in the videos that come, that follow this, I'll just play all the parts. I think I know all the parts. And then we can all talk about it over a cup of tea. How's that sound?